Hello, Padawans. All right, my annual predictions for the NFL. Um, my strategy on this is no team is awful. Well, they can be awful, but it's rare for a team to go winless, and it's really rare for a team to go undefeated. So I look for an opportunity here or there throughout the season for a really bad team like Cleveland or New Orleans to get a win here or there where they might have the opportunity. And I do the same for great teams like Kansas City, Buffalo. Denver's in that category now. Uh, so I always look for, that little edge to try and find a way to give them a loss or a win to balance the season out a little bit. That said, this is a year of haves and have nots according to what my prognostication skills gave us. Um, so, uh, First of all, there are a couple of surprises. Buffalo and Seattle are the two biggest surprises. The NFC North is a surprise because it looks like it's going to be a great division, with even Chicago doing a little better than I thought they would. The NFC West is going to be fairly balanced with two good teams, Seattle being one of them that surprised me. So let's start in the East, and I'm going to start with the AFC because I'm more of an NFC person, just because I live in Phoenix, and yeah, I'm a Cardinals fan. So I know that division better than I know any other. So we're starting with the AFC East. Surprise number. Well, we'll go from bottom up. How's that sound? So I have the Jets at 4-13. I found a way to give them a win or two here or there. I have the Dolphins also at 4-13. Uh, I didn't find as many ways to help them. Um, so it is what it is. Those two seem to be right at the bottom, which is going to suck because there are a lot of teams that only have a couple of wins. So that bumps them down in the draft order, having just 4 wins. Um, I have New England at 6-11. I think they're going to be better, but I don't think they're going to be so much better. And I had the Bills sweeping the AFC East. So the Bills went 16-1, and I had to find a way to give them a loss against the Houston Texans. So Buffalo looks good. And the odds favor that in Vegas. I think it's a $5 bet. It was either a $5 bet or a $20 bet. You know what? I can't even remember, so not worth guessing. But it was $45 for them to win at least 15 games. So Vegas agrees with me. It was 2-1, so not bad. We have Cleveland at 2 wins, 2-15. I have Pittsburgh at 6-11. I have Baltimore at 11-6, and if they win opening week, that's gonna go up a hair, obviously. And I have Cincinnati at 14-3. Now, Cincinnati's defense is suspect, but damn, that offense is impressive. It's good. So that's what ended up doing it for them when I was going through the picks. For the AFC South, we have Tennessee at 2 wins and 15 losses. Indianapolis at 6-11. Jacksonville at 8-9. I think they're improving again, but still, it's a rough season for average teams. And then I have Houston at 11-6. So, and like I said, I wasn't biased on any of these teams. The only one I'm really biased on is Arizona. And then I have Las Vegas in the AFC West pulling up the rear at 5-12. I have the LA Chargers at 9-8 with a winning record, but just barely. I have Denver gaining on Kansas City at 13-4, and I have Kansas City at 14-3. So that's going to be probably the best division in the AFC from what I can tell. The Las Vegas, I believe in Pete Carroll, probably gave him a little bit. And Geno Smith has been a thorn in the side of the Cardinals for a while. So I'm kind of glad he's not in Seattle anymore. All right. So in the NFC East, I've got the Giants at 2-16. I'm sorry, 2-15. My glasses don't really help in that moderate distance. Um, I like the addition of Cam Scatabo. I think he is a beast. He reminds me a lot of the guy that Marshawn Lynch that used to play for the Seahawks, and a little of Peyton with his heart and the fact that he doesn't shy away from contact. I'm not saying he's in the same league as Walter Payton, but that dude is a beast. And if you haven't seen him run and you get stuck playing the Giants, enjoy watching him because he's going to punish whoever tries to tackle him. We've got the Dallas Cowboys at 5-12. I think they're taking a step back. Jerry Jones needs to let go of that team, or at least let go of being in charge. I've got Washington at 11-6, and the Eagles at 12-5. So that's going to be a pretty tough division, with the exception of the Giants. At the NFC North, we have Chicago at 6-11. I have Minnesota at 12-5, and I have Detroit and Green Bay at 13-4 each. So I have that division being a real fight with three teams right at the top there, and they're going to beat each other up, starting in week 1 with Detroit and Green Bay. For the NFC South, I have New Orleans at 2-15, and loss number 1 should happen on Sunday with my Cardinals. I have Carolina at 6-11, and one of those losses should be week 2 at Arizona. I have Detroit. Oops, why am I on that one again? Sorry. I have Atlanta at 8-9. And I have Tampa Bay at 12-5, and one of Tampa Bay's wins is against my Cardinals. I do have the Cardinals beating Atlanta, Carolina, and New Orleans, though. And then for the NFC West, this is my division. I just don't see the Rams and Niners increasing their win totals from last year. Neither one of them seems to have done enough in the offseason to balance the losses they've taken. I have the Rams at 7-10. I have the Niners at 8-9. So they're both just under 500, but that's mostly because of their easy schedule. I do have the Rams beating the Cardinals in the week 18, the 17th game. And I have the Cardinals sweeping the Niners. I have the Cardinals and Seahawks splitting, and that could come into play because I was stunned by the result of the NFC West when I went through and calculated all the wins and losses. I have the Cardinals at 12-5. I have them losing to some good teams at the end of the season. I had them starting out 8-0. So they're gonna, if they play up to their ability, they might be able to pull off a few more wins, and that could be necessary because I have the Seahawks at 13-4. I did not expect that. But the NFC West does have a pretty easy schedule this season, so that is definitely augmenting those two teams' win totals. The Cardinals may have to sweep Seattle to win the division, or the conference. If they can, they have to have a good record too, with Philly, Green Bay, Detroit, and Tampa Bay all having good records in the NFC as well. So that's kind of how I see it. I'm not predicting playoffs yet. It's way too early to try and predict playoffs. I don't even know if my predictions are going to be accurate. This is the first time I've done a season-long prediction in years. And just so you know, I am kind of an expert on football. I went to college to be a football coach and a historian. But, the world is there are all kinds of surprises. There's injuries. And this is predicting no injuries, nothing, to pull teams down in that regard. It's just what I saw through the preseason and from last season and what they did in the draft, etc. So that's my prediction. As always, bet wisely, bet what you can afford to lose. Never chase good money with bad, and enjoy the season. I'm excited. Take care.